All right, let's get into it. If you've ever dreamed of starting your own business, you know the first step can feel like a huge wall of paperwork. And there are tons of online services out there, all saying they can make it easy. But how in the world do you choose the right one? Well, today, we're going to crack that code by looking at a really specific, kind of fascinating part of this whole industry. So first, just to get a sense of how big this is, in 2023, the market for online business filing was worth a staggering $3 billion. Yeah, billion, with a B. This isn't some small-time cottage industry. It is a full-blown financial engine designed to launch people's dreams. And get this, it's not slowing down. It's actually projected to hit $5 billion by 2030. Now, what that explosive growth really means for you, the entrepreneur, is more choices, more companies yelling for your attention, and honestly, a lot more confusion. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start big, looking at the whole booming industry. Then we'll introduce the big dogs, the market leaders. After that, we'll zoom way in on a niche player, do some detective work to see who they're really for, and wrap it all up with why this whole thing about personalization is so important. So let's start here in this huge digital space. Think of it as a massive online marketplace where countless entrepreneurs go to turn their big idea into a real, official company. It's all about making legal stuff digital and accessible. Now, in any industry this big, you're going to have your giants, right? These are the names you've probably heard of, the ones that have literally formed millions of businesses all across the US. They are the titans. And they pretty much all run on the same playbook. You see companies like Zen Business, LegalZoom, Busy, and look at that starting price, $0. You just pay the state fees. Their entire system is a high-volume machine built to process a massive number of simple, standard LLC formations as efficiently as possible. And let's be real, they're wildly successful for a reason. I mean, these guys are pros. For the typical American entrepreneur who just needs a basic LLC setup, these services are fantastic. They take a complicated process and make it super simple. But here's the pivot. This is the big question. That high-volume machine is amazing, as long as you're a standard part that fits perfectly. What if you're not? What if your situation is a little different? What if you're the customer they didn't build their automated system for? And that's exactly why other kinds of services have to exist. To really get this, we're going to zoom in on one of them, a smaller, more specialized company called FilingFox. They take a totally different approach. Now, before we dig in, let's just make sure we're talking about a solid company here. A third-party security review gives them a pretty high trust score, 80 out of 100. And their website, it's been around for over 5 years. So, this isn't some pop-up shop. They're an established business. So the real question is, who is a service like FilingFox actually for? Well, the best way to figure that out isn't to read their ads. It's to see what their actual customers are saying. We're going to follow the clues they've left behind in reviews to see who they serve. Boom. Right away, we hit a massive clue. Look at this review. The customer specifically talks about getting advice on taxes as a non-resident alien, a foreigner. This immediately tells us we're looking at a service that caters to an international audience trying to do business in the US. And here's our second clue, and wow, what a difference. Instead of a faceless call center, a specific person created a WhatsApp group to talk directly with the client. I mean, that is a level of personal, high-touch communication that you are just not going to find with the industry giants. It's all about direct access. This one is really interesting. This customer didn't come to them for a new company. They came to them to fix a mess that another company made. So this tells us they're not just company starters, they're problem solvers. They position themselves as the experts you call when things get complicated. So when you put all those clues together, a really clear picture starts to form, doesn't it? Their ideal customer is often someone who doesn't live in the US, maybe an e-commerce seller who really needs that direct personal support and is trying to solve a complex problem with the US system. That's their sweet spot. So what's the bottom line here? The big takeaway here isn't that one of these models is good and the other is bad. Not at all. It's that they are built for completely different types of entrepreneurs with totally different needs. This really lays it all out. You've got the high-volume model over here. It's automated, it's built for simple stuff, and you are one customer out of millions. And then you have the high-touch model. It's all about personalized guidance, it's designed for complex situations, and you're one of a much smaller group of clients. And that really brings us home. The most important thing to remember from all of this is that finding the best service isn't about finding the cheapest price tag. It's about finding the one that's the right fit for your unique situation, for your journey. It's about finding the right partner, not just the right price. So I'll just leave you with this to chew on. As you get ready to start your own business, ask yourself, which do you need to be? A number in a giant's super efficient database, or a name in a specialist's personal phone? Your answer to that question will tell you exactly where you need to go.